Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dreams Come True, the podcast with a mission to help whoever related to autism. And with today is the very first episode, and I would like to all of us to welcome my dear friends, um, uh, an elite doctor, a superhero in real life, and yeah, please welcome Dr. Deibby Mamahit. Yay!
Yay! Congratulations, Dad, for this podcast.
Yeah.
Hi,
So,
everyone.
so this is a dreams come true to me, this podcast. I've been talking about this for a while, and hopefully, yeah, it will, there will be many episodes coming. Okay. So, Debbie, can you help us to introduce a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I was actually trained as an emergency doctor. So back in, I would say, 20 years ago, I was trained in the National University Hospital for emergency. And I got married and I have children. And when they were 2.5 and 1+ years old, we started to realize that something was not quite right. So what happened is that we found out, me and my husband, we are both doctors. We found out the children both are in the spectrum. So they are in autism spectrum disorder. So this actually prompted me to stop my work as a doctor in the hospital. And in the beginning, I took the responsibility of taking care of the children. So sending them to therapies, bringing them to their ABA therapy, occupational therapy, their speech therapy. So there are other many therapies as well. We tried equestrian therapy, the horse riding therapy. We tried water therapy, play therapies, everything that was available in Singapore. We tried everything.
All wicked names, right? Everything you can name.
Within 1.5 years, we did not see the improvement. So at that time, the eldest was 4 and the younger one was 2.5. We didn't see much changes in the children. So this is when I decided I need to start to take things into my own hand. So I started to I went to California to the research autism research in this institute to learn, and I started to do interns to many different doctors. So basically, I create my own fellowship, going from one doctor to another doctors. As long as there is one person who's willing to teach me something, I will go there. So it's started my journey to go to many different places in the world to find the answer, find the clue on how I can help these children. So fast forward to I'd say 13 years.
Wow.
into this, yeah. I actually found the idea on what really happens to the children. I started to my eldest child, he's now 17. He's now in he's no longer in the spectrum.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he's now living on his own in a school in the UK. And the younger one, he's now 15, and he's at home. He's doing very well. He does not have any aggression. He didn't have any issues with behavior. He's learning to speak a little bit at a day. Every day he has learned like new characters, new words, but he's not out yet. But we have seen improvement after improvement over the years. So very good. So I'm very happy now. I have my own clinic and I'm seeing children like my kids, and I'm seeing good hope in many of the children.
Well, it seems like dreams have come true to you and your family, right?
Yeah, I
So
think as long as we are happy, that is our dream.
yes, yeah, dreams. So this is how I planned it to start the podcast, and I hope to that we'll be able to bring so after like every episode, our mission is to bring our listener one step closer to their dreams. So so as you maybe giving advice to other parents or giving advice to yourself like 13 years ago, what is the one thing that you would like to say that might help bringing the goal, the mission, the dreams of the parents one step closer to what they are always dream about?
The first step is actually choose to be happy yourself. Because when the parents change, the children will change. This is something that everyone can start applying on themselves. By stop being in despair, stop being unhappy. You can choose not to feel the anxiety over your child's situation. You can choose to really enjoy every single moment with your child. But before you can do that, you need to be able to love yourself, take care of yourself, understand that you are always doing your very best for your child. There is no room for you to be regretful, no room for you to get angry with yourself or get upset with what other people say about your kids or their reactions toward your children, because these are the energy that will take away the negative energy that will drag you down, because you need all your energy to spend on yourself and for your children. This is something that we need to always start. This is the main mindset that every parent must aim to achieve, aim to have.
So I once read this line. I could not remember from whom, but somehow autism is a gift from God to a family. So, but after I read that, I'm asking for myself, like, because now I'm not having a children yet, but like, it's a really special gift, right? It's a really, really special gift, and none of us has been prepared. Yeah, none of us has been prepared enough. Like we could never prepare enough. Like so, every single day I still imagine. Like I've been in this working with parents and families for the last 10 years, but every single day I'm asking myself, would I might be prepared enough to take that gift, like if one day God give me that. So just mention that to say that it's not easy. It sounds really, logical to stay happy, to help your child, but I can definitely tell it's not easy to be able to do that, or to get to that state of your calm and your happiness with your child. So how long did you have to struggle finding your happiness, and how did you actually, what's switching you, or what happened?
What's the turning point?
What is the tipping point that you decided that I have to be happy and I have to be confident in what I'm doing with my child?
So one day, so my second child,
Joshua, right? Joshua.
Joshua, so Joshua likes to climb. So he will climb the wall, the cabinets. One day when I was in the living room, at that time, I already have my number 3 and number 4. So Joshua, So at that time, Joshua was about 5.5. He was climbing out, and I didn't really pay attention on him because I actually had make sure that the whole room is child-proof. So I was thinking that shouldn't have anything that can worry me about him. So I was taking care of my other children, and I was carrying the baby, 4 months old baby Isaac, on my lap. And when I was doing that, then Emmanuel started pointing at the outside. And when I looked, I was so surprised. I was very, very scared. Actually, my heart fell onto the floor because I saw Joshua was outside the building, 8th floor high, outside the grills. We actually put the grills there to prevent him from going out, right? But he was outside. He was outside the grill. And there is nothing that prevents him from there except his hands that is still holding onto the bars.
All right. A typical like action movies scenes, right?
That is a very typical action movie scene. I couldn't put my baby down because the baby was 4 months old. He can't sit yet.
I can
So
see I can still see your heart like skipping a bit like right now.
Oh yeah. Every time I remember those moments, it really scares me. Then I saw my helper and I looked out and she looked out and she was so she was like her eyes popping out. And she was thankfully I have two in the house. So two helpers looked and ran into the same time. One caught the feet and one caught the other the hands. And they were able to manage to pull him inside. It was such tiny bars. And he was able to sleep in and he was even able to came out again. But that very moment, I had to tell myself, I would rather have him with all his difficulties rather than to lose him. It was a tipping point for me. It was that point of, there is a point of no return. I just cannot lose him. And I have to be the perfect person. I need to be the mom that he needs. I cannot I can't be showing him that I don't like looking at his steaming, or I need to love him because that's the only choice I have.
Because at that
So
moment
just enjoy him
you just
fully.
love him like without any behavior, without any trace of autism, right?
There is no more
No,
expectations.
yeah.
It does
There's no moment that you stop for like half a second, decide that do I worry for this child because he's diagnosed with autism or not? Because
Yeah.
this is my child. That at that moment you look
My
at him,
child, and I
this is
love
my
him.
perfect
Doesn't
child.
matter what happens to him. Doesn't matter that he
Nothing.
doesn't
Oh my
speak.
God.
Doesn't matter that he makes funny noise. Doesn't matter that he keep on turning the throwing all the CD player and the disc outside the window. It doesn't. I don't care. Most important that he's alive and he's with me. So that was the very moment that I realized. Then actually 2 months from then I was in the ADCA.
Okay. Okay. Good decision. Good decisions.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll later on you guys move down, not living in the high buildings anymore, right?
Yeah, now we are staying in a landed house, and
Okay.
it's not now it's not because he still climb out, but because it's just so much nicer to have a bigger space for all the children.
Yeah, I can
But
tell.
he doesn't have the tendency to get out of the house anymore. Just thank God. And Joshua has learned to know who I am, and he knows what to say, how to say it, how to communicate with us. So he has he has, even though still limited, it's not a full communication, but he has come a long way.
Yeah, definitely. Because we have been friends for a while, so I definitely know Joshua's story, and you have been sharing that story to many parents in Vietnam through our parent sharing
Yeah.
events, right? And
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna go to that later on. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that story, because it's gonna be tough to looking at a child with a lot of difficulties, but without judging eyes. But I think through your story, I can definitely and every single person that who's listening to this podcast can put themselves in, in their imaginations there, and then feeling way, way better to have their child and love them like unconditionally rather than losing him or her, right? And that is very, very powerful. Thank you so much. So the other day, so it was 2 days earlier, I heard this podcast from another person on the spectrum, and this is what really, really get into my mind, and I want to share this to you, and I want to have your thought about that. So this person, he say that whatever diagnosed is labeled onto the children or an adult on the spectrums, that will be their minimum capable. It's not their root. It's just a flaw. So how severe your child or your adult is labeled, whoever or whatever diagnosed, given to them, that's just the base, and the potential to a child on the spectrum is limitless. So that is the one thing that he gave away for listener, and it really struck me in different ways. And so, how about you? So what is your autism to you now? Is it a trait or is it just a state?
Yeah, so I really agree with that statement, that whatever the diagnosis, it is just the minimum. It is the minimum. There is no limit on how much they can get, how far they can actually go. And like what you say, many people think that autism is a trait. A trait means something that you are born with. You can't really change something that is already formulated since they were a baby. But I believe that autism is actually just a state. So it's a temporary condition. If we can help the child to get better using mindset, using supplements, using the right attitude, it is going to help them tremendously to actually overcome their issues. I believe in it. And that's the reason my clinic motto is life without limits.
Oh, that suits so well with the story.
Yeah.
So, but I think that there's one thing I would love to mention, because I've talked to a lot of parents. So as you shared before, that you and your husband are both doctors, right? So is there any difference with accepting, like when you first got your first diagnosed with your children with autism? How do you guys like differently, receive the message?
I think we are as devastated as any other parents. And on top of that, expectations of the society toward doctors is very high. So both our parents were asking this kind of question, like, why couldn't you prevent it? Both of you are doctors. Why you have both of your kids are in the spectrum? Why both of the kids are autistic? So this is something that took us a long time to overcome. We were in a very difficult position because we know that we don't know much. We don't know much about autism. In our pediatric handbook on pediatric neurology, we have like 1 page about autism.
Just that 1 page?
Yes. And so I have never had autistic patients before I got my children. So it's a huge blow, I would say. Then the two of us, of course, me and my husband, when the kids were born, we were having our dreams and hopes, and we want them to be doctors and maybe a surgeon, maybe an internal medicine practitioner. You know, I would like, oh, which one of these guys will hold the scalpel and which one will hold the stethoscope? You know, we are having these kind of thoughts. And then after the diagnosis happened, then we couldn't even get them into kindergarten.
Everything's gonna change, right? Yeah, so all
Right.
the plan is gonna change like in.
So it was hard. It was not easy.
So yeah, because I'm asking the question because the other day I talked to one of my friends who is also a mom, and I said that I told her that I just came to Singapore to visit you, right? And the first question she's asked me was, "Oh, so they are both doctors? Oh, so it's not, so autism is not genetic?" Because I'm always thinking that, oh, if doctors also have like autistic children, it's not my fault. Because she was married quite young and having children quite young. So but you know what? Her child was born like 15 years ago. And up till now, she's still thinking and secretly, unconsciously
Blaming her.
blaming herself.
Yeah.
And that is quite shocking for me. And she's Sunrise mom, she's a very play-based mom, very like new approach moms, but still she's asking a question. Oh, so they're a doctor, so it's not my fault at all. So I was like, yeah, definitely it's not your fault. So that might help. This might help a lot of parents out there that they have way less resources to approach to autism, and they
Yeah.
somehow like maybe they live in the countryside, or maybe they're living with their in-laws, just keep blaming themselves.
Yeah. And it's not easy because the society will point fingers at you. Right? Will say, oh, even in the Western society, it used to be said that autistic children came from refrigerator mothers.
Oh,
Yeah. So it was not
yeah. So took
the
2
Asian.
seconds to explain refrigerator mother to like everyone who didn't know the context.
Yeah. So people actually think that this is the mother's fault that the children becomes like that.
Yeah.
And it actually, after now learning about it, researching about it, taking care of these children, I come to understand that you can't really help it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the human like scientists haven't
The
come
child
to
might
like
injured, it might have hypoxia or the lack of oxygen into the brain. The child might not grow enough of the neuron. But all of this is beyond the parents' abilities. So the parents actually need to take the step to say to themselves, you have done the very best. You are the best parent that your child could ever have. For me, it takes me many years of therapy to actually forgive myself.
Oh, also during therapies.
Yeah, I went to therapy. And I'm glad that now I can actually talk to the mothers because I've gone through it too.
Okay.
Yeah, and the father too. Yeah.
Your father too is right. So can you share a little bit about Emmanuel is right now like independent living by himself, and Joshua is right now so later on I will explain so Deibby will explain what I'm talking about, but Joshua is right now in his slipper and in his tank top and in his short, and that is definitely a dreams come true, right? So
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
you give the parents a little bit about those two dreams come true to you? So what
Yeah. He
what
has
what are
severe,
the condition and how are they now?
he has
Yeah.
severe somatosensory disorder.
Joshua, right? We were talking about Joshua, right?
Very autistic. And his main thing is that he is wearing many different layers of shirts. So at one stage, he actually wore about 20 layers of shirts. It's like he makes it looks like a Hulk because it's super duper big with all the clothes in. And can you imagine the laundry?
Yeah.
We used to have the whole balcony filled with drying his clothes because we need to wash it, right?
But
It was
like
not.
as you once shared with me that he didn't like start with 20 pieces of clothes, right? He started with 3 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, started with
And he
3,
went
and then
to he
went to
went to the school, and the school forced him to take off the layers. And when he came back home, he started putting more layers. So our children, they are smart.
yeah.
They know what they want, and they help themselves to overcome their traumas. He got trauma. I think this is a very traumatic experience for him to have people forcing him to take off his clothes.
Stripping him, like
Yeah, so
literally stripping him.
he's trying to protect himself by putting on more clothes. So it's more difficult to actually took off all the clothes from him, right?
So it's a very strange like defense mechanism, right? But yeah,
I know, but
it works.
Yeah, so all these compensatory mechanism is what our kids the best at. They do all sorts of things to compensate things that they might miss or lost or not having or have too much of. So if they have inflammation, they started to flap their hands, twirl around. They can spin non-stop, but it will help them to calm them down. It will actually produce, our body will produce more endorphin, and endorphin is like a painkiller that can brings down their pain. Why am I saying that this? Because some of them have paroxysmal activities in the brain. They have inflammation in the brain, and it causes them a lot of difficulty. Some of them have hard time looking at the lights. Some of them have such sensitivity they can hear things a few miles away, and things that according to us is something normal, like the sound of the car, the sound of the air conditioning, can be very disturbing for some of them. So what they do is that they try to block it by doing something that can produce their own body mechanism to help themselves. So these children are very smart in looking after their own interest.
So how long does it took you from 20 pieces of clothing to him in a tank top and flip-flops? Because that's amazing. Because right away when I see and when I saw that picture, I was like, wow, what is happening? What's going on?
It's about 10 years.
It's about 10 years. So peeling those like onions layer, right?
Then he needs to choose to do it himself. We can't make him.
Yeah.
So only when he choose, okay, I'm going to get out of the house wearing only one layer of shirt and my shorts and my flip-flops. It's his own choice to do it. If he feels comfortable enough, when he feels, okay, I'm not going to be threatened by wearing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the spontaneous choice is always the best, right? Because
So
you
even
cannot be there like forever to keeping them doing what they're doing or preventing them
we cannot
with so-called behavior. Like,
we can't force them. When we have therapies that force the child to do something, we need to start questioning. Are you going to start forcing your child to do things from now on? Is it going to be something you see in the child when they're in their 20s? Are you going to force him to get out of the house? Are you going to force him to do something that, I mean, we need to actually start thinking logically, whether to give the child choice or dictate our choice to a child. Which one that is going to lead the child to start being a decision maker, to have confidence in themselves, to have the abilities to make their own choices. So it's a choice for parents to make.
And yeah, that's awesome. And how about like Emmanuel? I have not heard much about him before. So what were his
Yeah.
beginning state?
So
And
in the
because
beginning,
there's many parents might have the similar state of children, and they
yeah,
might expecting that he can the children that can someday be as success case at Emmanuel. So can you share a little bit?
yeah. So Emmanuel, this is a very this is a story that I didn't tell many people before. Okay,
Yeah.
so what happened is that he doesn't look very autistic, right? People don't know that he's actually autistic. Only the teachers know, and the people in the class would know. But if people don't really look, people might not actually detect
Written. Yeah.
unless they started talking to him.
Yeah.
Or unless they started having an activity together with him. Yeah, so we don't really talk about it. I don't really talk much about it because I have to admit at that time I was having my own insecurities. And actually I was really talking quite out loud about it after he's out of the spectrum. Then okay, he's out, we can talk about it.
Yeah, because you didn't share much about him on like your Facebook
Yeah,
and
because it's like I don't want
even
to
in parent sharing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, even in the parent sharing, I don't really talk about it. I try to keep it on my own because it was like,
Crossing finger, right?
yeah, cross my fingers. I was like, I don't want.
Just
It's
want to make sure that he's completely out.
yeah. And
And
I tell you that.
to be sure, I will send him like 1,000 miles away to the UK
No, it's never been in the
without
plan.
any. Just kidding. Just to make sure that he's completely out and he's will be able to survive.
So we actually, even a year ago, we did not expect that he is going to be able to be where he is today. Of course, we have the faith, right? But we do not have the picture in our head. We know that this guy can go beyond whatever people think that he can do. But it is just like, I believe, but we do not see it, right? It's only when it's happening, I also have to like, is it happening? Is it happening?
Pinch yourself, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's so brave of you to share his Emmanuel story because I've known quite a few parents when they have their children like out of the spectrum, they refuse to share about that history because they want their child to have a new life.
In my clinic,
Yeah.
I have a lot of recoveries, but every time we have recovery, the parents always come to me and say, please do not share. My kid was in the spectrum.
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
one thing that keeps the recovery part of autism is quite a myth, right? People heard about it. It's like unicorn. People heard about it, but then so very people can share about it or like
Yeah.
in real person,
Yeah.
and but it's that is their choice, and as my own belief, I think recovery is not the ultimate goal of
It is not.
helping our children with autism because we, like you said before, we rather in my belief, helping the children living the best life, the happiest life that they possible is the ultimate goal. Uh, it's not just like for autistic children, but for like any neurotypical person. It's also like you're not hoping them to like success to be a millionaire, but just to live the happiest life
You have to have a
in their
happy, meaningful life.
meaningful life in their capital, right?
Right. I want to share a little bit of a fun thing that happened today. By the way, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you too. This is very special day, right? Before this we have a kind of a strange date right now.
Well, I celebrated yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh no, the thing is that what happened today is that Emmanuel is a poster boy in school.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's in the school Instagram. Yeah, so you're like, wow.
What was that? So what he was
He is
what?
poster boy in the
Poster
school.
boy? So he's delivering like messages?
And so they were just featuring him today in the,
Okay. They're featuring him on like Instagram, the school Instagram?
yeah, to say that he's been growing so much in school.
Oh,
That
wow.
is very, very good news for us.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's the best like Valentine's gift in years for you, right?
I always have very good. I would say that every year has its own blessing,
Yeah,
and it's just amazing.
yeah,
I love that he has come a long way, and the school actually admitted he has come a long way.
yeah.
So it
So
gives us
glad for you.
much hope on what are the things that he can choose to do for himself, right? Yeah, so that is our story. And
Yeah, yeah.
to be the cherry on the cake, to put the cherry on the top of the cake, is that he told me recently that he's interested to become a doctor. So our initial dream
Mm.
were actually,
On the
yeah,
way coming true.
way of coming true.
Wow.
He's not in university yet. He's still in A level or high school.
Wow.
And well, we don't know what's going to happen. We might have Dr. Emmanuel Wang in the family, or we might not, but whichever it is, we are going to be happy for him.
That's so meaningful. That's so much meaningful. All right. So if there's one thing as a doctor and now with your own clinic, so what is one thing that you suggest parents to um, look at or doing research to help their child with their
Um,
current state right now?
I would say to the parents, have an open mind. Learn that there are possibilities for your child to recover. There are many ways to roam, but majority of the issue with our kids is neuroinflammation or inflammation in the brain. We need to bring down the inflammation. Shouting at them, getting angry at them is counterproductive. It won't lead to any good. You need to really accept them and love them unconditionally. Since today is a Valentine's Day, it's a day of love, right? Love them, love them, love them. That is the food they need to actually get better and grow. Because only when we love without condition, then our children can feel our intent. And this is when they will start to change, because they start to have the connection with you. I work together with 2 other professionals in my clinic. So we do offer a more comprehensive solution. So I do the nutrition. Gerd Winkler, he's the director of the Global Autism Solution. He does the help for the parents when they got stuck with what activities to do, what are the things that we might get, how to get to be better parent, how to get the therapies to be better therapies, how to get this done. And Gerd will usually troubleshoot and help with the mindset part and the attitude part. And the last one in the team is Rita Gendelman. So Rita does the body works, the reflexes, getting the brain and the body connected. So by having the 3 of us in the team, we are actually managing the children in a very thorough and holistic way, so that we will be able to guide the parents toward the dreams that they want.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree that if we want to like attack to a big problem like autism, we have to look at the whole thing, the whole body, the whole
Mm.
mindset, and the physical and neurophysical problems and throughout. So it's really good that you have somehow accomplished your missions, and now you are on your way to helping many others, and including me, and including many parents who are going to be listening to this podcast. So yeah, it's very heartwarming what you guys been doing. I truly
You are
appreciate it.
inspiring yourself. That I just love your passion and your care and your love towards these parents and the children, because it takes someone like you to make the whole world a whole lot better.
Shouldn't be crying right now, but yeah, thank you so much. So the final questions, okay?
Yeah.
So what is your biggest dreams that you wish to be coming true right now?
My biggest dream to come true would be to see my children come to me and say, "Thank you, Mom. I think I have achieved what I need to achieve." I think that is the best gift, the best dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before they can come and say thank you to you, I would like represent all the parents here in Vietnam, because not just listening to this podcast, but have been listening to your parents sharing, and and some individual has been working like with you personally, that you help them to change their children's lives a lot in many ways. So thank you so much, Debbie, and
Most welcome.
I hope that we can about like neuroinflammations that deserve a whole
Yeah, we can
whole
have another
podcast
the
for
whole
that.
podcast.
Yeah, we can dig
We
way
have 3
deeper into
podcasts
that.
or 10 podcasts about neuroinflammation.
Definitely
So much
we're gonna do
to talk
that.
about.
Yeah.
About
So
the gut connection to the brain, what kind of food we
yeah,
can eat, what are the food to avoid, what are the things that we can do around the house to make sure that the child have less neuroinflammation. These
and
are very exciting. There's
yeah.
so much things to be done.
As I told you, we have to stop ourselves from talking,
Yeah,
because yeah, we can definitely go on and on and on for days. But you guys, thank you so much for Dr. Deibby to spend. You have come back right from
from KL.
Poland, from KL, for
Yeah,
very very busy trip, right? And
yeah.
now you're here with us. So once again, thank you so much, and I wish you the best Valentine's Day ever. And hopefully that we'll be able to do more to help our community. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you everyone for listening.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.